This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Nobody knows who the hell he is.
Yes, hello. I've been waiting for you. Hello.
Donald Trump has been aching to have a little war, just a little war, in order to boost his ratings among his fans, the poorly educated.
I love the poorly educated.
You remember he sent in missiles when Syria gassed its people in 2018? Even the left-wing socialist failing fake news media loved that. I bet Trump was practically humping his television when they praised him for that one. And as it's the only thing he likes more than women who don't mind if you grab them, and gold and flattery and money, the only thing he likes more than all of that is ratings. Don't forget, he's not an actual businessman. He just played one on television. How much money you got, Donny?
I make $400 million a year, so what difference does it make?
He lied. It's so blindingly predictable what he's doing that it's amazing people are actually falling for it. World War III. Here we go. Everybody ready?
I'll bring us into war.
A British commander of the anti-ISIS forces in Africa, in Iraq and Syria, may be the fly in his ointment. Because he is, an actual expert in possession of facts, so nobody is remotely interested in anything he has to say. Donald Trump, from the comfort of his golf course in Florida, says that Iran is a credible threat and must be stopped immediately. An actual British commander of anti-ISIS forces in neighbouring Iraq and Syria said, no. No, it isn't. He said there's no increased threat from Iran, despite the US insisting that Iran is behind attacks on its allies. And by allies, I mean countries that buy a lot of their weapons. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about the money, honey. I mean, do you think that we would be bowing and scraping before Saudi Arabia if they weren't up to their eyeballs in cash? British Major General Chris Geeker, a Deputy Commander of Operation Inherent Resolve. Wow, that sounds manly, don't it? He told reporters that he was monitoring Iran because, it's his job, and its proxy forces as well, and he'd seen no reason to adjust his stance before them, which was is presumably with his arms folded and his feet just apart enough to look, really tough. Not like Donald Trump. His feet are wide apart because his legs are so fat. No offence, Donny. But the US says, no, this expert is wrong. We're right, and we can tell that we're right from thousands of miles away. They are so desperate for a war. It's all about ratings. And guess who's going to be following along right behind them? That's right. Just like we did the last time, and the time before that.
Absolutely.
The US claims that Iran were behind the attacks on 2 Saudi oil tankers and pumping stations. But it's, I don't know. I mean, is it just me that doubts it? Apparently not. Even people who know what they're talking about it doubt it. And as the US Central Command, they later issued a rare rebuke to an Allied military officer, this British Major General. They rebuked him. Probably after the Tangerine Scream interrupted his cheating at golf to yell down the phone at some bloke with medals on his chest and a buzz-cut hairstyle. I want people to like me, you're not helping. A US spokesperson said the general's remarks run counter to the identified credible threats. That's what they said about this British general who is in position over there and said there are no credible threats. And a US spokesman for people in America who really, really want a war. Because, it's good for business. A lot of people make a lot of money when we have a war. I mean, them bombs don't come cheap, A US spokesman said this British general's remarks run counter to the identified credible threats. Identified. They're just thinking this stuff up. They just want an excuse. He said, as a result, the coalition is now at a high level of alert.
Warning, warning.
And it'll go down, there's a high level of alert as we continue to closely monitor credible and possibly imminent threats to US forces in Iraq. Credible and imminent. They released a report that said America is going to war with Iran because its demented leader, America's, wants to see himself portrayed positively on television, on the TV stations that he calls fake news. Because, it'll go down well with his white, drooling yeehaw fans who say that abortion is wrong because God loves all life, yet really want to see some dead brown people. And Britain's Ministry of Defence, which way did you think they went? Well, they bravely sat on the fence. They backed their general while at the same time denying that he was contradicting Washington, which he was. It's like a magic trick. You have not just... Or it's not a magic trick, it's like a Jedi mind trick. This is not the evidence that you are looking for. Anybody falling for that? Yeah, everybody that wants to, apparently. Britain's Ministry of Defence backed their general while at the same time denying that he was contradicting Washington, which is a pretty weak position to be in. I mean, it's not backing him very much, because they're saying, well, we think he's a great guy, but he may be wrong about this and everything else that he's ever said, thought, or did, or smelt, touched, or squeezed. Because they don't want to upset Donny, the world's biggest orange baby. So where they go, where America goes, we are going to trail right along them like we're on a lead, like we're being taken walkies. Trump himself won't go to war, of course. He's got a note from his mummy which says his heels are sore. Oh. Our Ministry of Defence said Major General Geekas speaks as a military officer in the US-led coalition focused on the fight against ISIS in Iraq and Syria. His comments are based on the day-to-day military operations, and his sole focus is the enduring defeat of Daesh. Because we don't call it ISIS anymore, because if we call them a name that they don't like, then that'll show them. Make such a big song and a dance about that. No, it's not ISIS, it's Daesh. Now we're really sticking it to them. The Ministry of Defence says the UK has long been clear about our concerns over Iran's destabilising behaviour in the region. Really? Really? As opposed to the destabilising effect that Saudi Arabia has on that region and every other region on Earth. But we're not concerned about that because Saudi Arabia keep buying our weapons and selling us their oil. We have a very strong ethical foreign policy. We like whoever has the most money. There were rumours that Donald Trump was about to deploy 120,000 troops to the region. 120,000. And on Wednesday, the US ordered non-emergency staff evacuated from its Baghdad embassy due to an imminent threat from the Iranian-linked Iraqi militias. Which is a bit like saying that we're going to have to evacuate and close down this pub because of the imminent threat of being hit by the person that we are hitting. Typical bully behaviour. They grab your fist and hit you in the face with it and say, why are you hitting yourself? And when we raise a finger of complaint in the air that we are being hit by this bully, they run screaming to teacher. He's being mean to me. Trump sought to portray the situation as under control. Yeah, don't worry, Donald Trump's in charge. Under control. Everything's under control in the White House, he said. There is no discord in the White House. Everybody is singing from the same hymn sheet. There's no infighting whatsoever, said Donald Trump. Yeah, it may be. It might be because he's fired all of the grown-ups in the White House. Or they've left because their reputations could not stand further contact with the world's neediest and biggest baby. Unless I'm getting any of this wrong, in which case you must correct me. And the US government has been pointing to increased threats from Iran, despite international skepticism. As in, we don't think they're telling the truth. Liar! Tensions began building on Sunday when 4 oil tankers, highly suspiciously, including 2 belonging to America's ally Saudi Arabia, were apparently sabotaged off the UAE coast. And US investigators were asked to get involved and subsequently blamed Iran and its allies, despite having absolutely no information of any kind whatsoever that determines that Iran had anything to do with it. I mean, would anybody be at all surprised if it was not Iran who blew them up?
No.
And if that's true, then who? Who could it have been that hatched a plan to point the finger at Iran? Who? Who might it have been? Can you think? Who could have hatched such a clever plan to point the finger at Iran? You'd have to be a really smart person.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Iran's supreme leader. He's not any old leader, he's their supreme leader. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. He insisted that the showdown between the Islamic Republic and the United States was a mere test of resolve. He says the face-off isn't military, because there's not going to be any war. Neither we nor them, the US, seek war. Well, I'm not sure about that. I think maybe he doesn't get CNN in Iran. CNN are being mean to Donnie. Donnie doesn't want CNN to be mean. He wants them to be nice and to tell him what a huge and great person he is. And a little light conflict would do it. If only there had been an indication that Donald Trump was going to bring America to war.
I'll bring us into war.
I mean, just any hint that Donnie is a war baby.
I'll bring us into war.
If only he had given us a clue as to his intentions.
I'll bring us into war.
0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, you better pack up your kit bag, because it looks like we're on manoeuvres.
This is LBC.
There will be a short pause. That was shorter than I expected. Much, much shorter, as a matter of fact. Probably not my fault.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Everything is going extremely well.
You bet your life it is. Yeah, you remember, speaking of Donnie, you remember the media mogul Conrad Black? Racking your brains. Conrad Black? Yeah, that's him. He revealed that Donald Trump called him personally to tell him that he was being pardoned over a fraud conviction. You remember he went to jail for fraud? Well, the former... How do you get out of jail in Donald Trump's world? Have a wild stab in the dark. And you probably guessed it straight away, which tells you everything that you need to know about the leader of the free world. Conrad Black, the former publisher, 74... a Canadian-born British citizen, was found guilty of siphoning millions of dollars from the sale of newspapers owned by Hollinger Inc., where he was the chief executive and chairman. Lord Black was knighted by the Queen for being rich. Ain't that always the way? And he once owned the Daily Telegraph. Is that still a thing? I like the cartoon on the front page and the crossword in the back. It's what's in between that rubs me up the wrong way. Although I have some detailed files from the Daily Telegraph today about how we're doing. How are we doing, like, money-wise, as far as this country is concerned, going forwards. I'll run it up the flagpole, and we'll see which way the wind's blowing in just a moment. Anyway, back to jail. Conrad Black, the former publisher, 74, a Canadian-born British citizen, was found guilty of siphoning millions of dollars from the sale of newspapers when he was the chief executive and chairman. He said Ancient Orange President Trump called him last week to tell him that he would be pardoned. And how do you think he wangled that? Well, by complete coincidence, Conrad Black wrote a flattering biography of the Screaming Mimi just last year. Really?
Oh, fabulous.
In 2018, his book, Donald J. Trump, A President Like No Other. That was published in 2018. Donald J. Trump, A President Like No Other. Well, he's got that right.
You are going to love President Trump.
Well, that sounds like an order rather than a promise. The glowing biography extolled the virtues of Trump, which included the opening paragraphs, "The traits that elevated Donald Trump to the White House are the traits of America."
The American dream is dead.
Yeah, you killed it, Donnie. The traits that elevated Donald Trump to the White House are the traits of America. Like the country he represents, Donald Trump possesses the optimism to persevere and succeed, the confidence to affront tradition and convention, a genius for spectacle, and a firm belief in common sense and the common man. Apparently, this book was not a comedy. A firm belief in common sense and the common man. And don't forget, a firm belief in a super-rich father who bailed him out of his multiple business failures to the tune of about $500 million, without whom we would never have heard of Donald Trump. He'd have been some low-life loser of a rich parent instead of the low-life currently in charge of the free world. Thanks a lot, Trump Sr. In a 1,700-word statement, Conrad Black thanked the president, writing, "When my assistant said there was a call from the White House, I picked up and said, 'Hello,' and started to ask if this was a prank. But the caller spoke politely over me. 'Please hold for the president.' And then 2 seconds later, probably the best-known voice in the world said, 'Is that the great Lord Black?' Ugh. I said, 'Mr. President, you do me a great honor telephoning me. Oh my God, somebody hold my hair back, I'm going to be sick.'" Conrad Black said of Donald Trump, he could not have been more gracious, get this, could not have been more gracious and quickly came to his point. Well, that can't be true. "I just want to say to Conrad that I won the election. I got more votes than any other president in history and a bigger crowd at my inauguration than all of the Super Bowls put together, and I have tremendous things done for this country, Conrad. Nobody saw such tremendous things, believe me. And I just want to say this, I am fantastic. Everybody says so. I'm the most president-like ever. And why did you call again?" Got quickly to the point. The former newspaper publisher says he could not have been more gracious and quickly got to his point that he was granting me a full pardon that would quotes, expunge the bad rap you got. Why does Donald Trump always sound like he's been taking a how to talk like the mafia course? Is it because he thinks it makes him sound tough?
Absolutely.
Yeah, a little bit. Hey, forget about it. Blackburn, hello, Scott.
Did you see Elton John intervened on that guy's behalf? You know, that Lord Black guy.
Elton John?
Yeah, he's a friend of his.
Oh, God.
I saw it in paper, yeah. He phoned, I think he phoned the president and intervened on his behalf.
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, well, I don't know, I remember seeing it. Anyway, I think you said that that white people are happy about war, and I disagree.
Wait a minute, wait. White people are happy about war?
In America, you made it sound like his supporters were
yeah, his supporters. Not white people. Not white people, his fans.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah, but his fans are white people.
Well, I think he's
the
got
group that is happy about war are his fans, not white people.
I don't think the people that voted for him. I don't think the people that voted for him are wanting more wars, more.
Are you kidding? They love guns so much they've got them. They got them in their. Huh?
They might like the Second Amendment, but that doesn't mean they want more Iraqs and Vietnams. It's them that go. It's their children that go off and get killed.
Well, all you have to do is present a report from your fake doctor that says you have a fake problem with your heels, and then you get to you get a pass, as long as you're rich.
Well, I think that there's some really good, optimistic things are that finally people like Tucker Carlson are telling the truth about the endless wars and having Tulsi Gabbard on and things like that. I think
Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, he did a really good anti-war. He's been really good on the.
The guy from Fox News.
Yeah, he's had Tulsi Gabbard.
For crying out loud! We don't get Fox News here, Scott. You'd have to go and seek it out. Why in God's name would you do that?
I don't actually have TV. I just saw it on. I saw the clips on YouTube.
Right.
It's got.
Okay. Well, stop getting your news from YouTube. Would be a start. Why? Yeah, excellent question. Why? Gosh, I wonder. Petra in Crewe says, Nick, are you still doing the? I mean, doesn't that say it all? Stop getting your news from YouTube. Answer why. I'm this close to giving up on the human race. Like, I really am. The stuff that's happening lately is just mind-bending. My mind is bending as we speak. This says, have they found the emu yet? No sightings of it in Wimbledon. That's how could you lose an emu? I don't know. It's one of those news stories that comes and goes, and you hear the setup, but you never hear the punchline. That happens so many times. Some extraordinary story will come past us, and we hear that something has happened, and expecting a denouement. Evil, filthy French word. No! But we never hear the end of the story. I think it's almost that news people aren't interested in how stories end. They're only interested in titillating us with how they start. Never the punchline, always the setup. So I don't know if they found the emu yet. It seems extraordinary that you can lose a 4-foot bird. Do not approach the 4-foot bird, by the way. It's probably very, very dangerous. I was reading that one. Put that back. Undo what you just did. Petra in Crewe says, Nick, are you still doing the lottery? Because I've given it up as a complete waste of time. I don't think how much money I've spent on it. And I agree with you, unless they're advertising with us, in which case it's an excellent game, and you really should play, because if you're not in it, you won't win it. No, I didn't play tonight. I had intended to do so because I saw some ad saying, play. I thought, oh, well, right you are. I'll do that then. Because I'm nothing if not, what's the word? Stupid? No, not stupid. Gullible? No, that's not it either. Suggestible? Yes, I'm nothing if not suggestible. But I forgot. And this was probably going to be my time of winning. I really I felt it in my bone. Damn it! Do you have to actually buy a ticket to win? Tony says, Boris, Brexit and 5 more years of Trump. So great to be alive now. Little Joe Bindon getting a hiding. Bindon. This is why I'm kind of giving up on the human race, is because people seem to have decided that they, particularly people on the right, that you don't even need to tell them what the topic is. Their position is the most right-wing on any given subject. Do you like Boris? Or rather, do you like Brexit? Then you also like Trump. Now, apart from the Russian interference in both, what has the one got to do with the other? I don't see the connection, apart from there's a few individuals' faces that keep coming up over and over and over again.
I'm a nutcase.
Few individuals. There's big news in Scotland, by the way. Milk news in Scotland concerning you-know-who. I'll come to that in a minute. But why is that? It didn't used to be this way. People used to think about issues based on their opinion. I mean, I'm right-wing on some things and left-wing on others and right down the middle on many things. But that doesn't seem to be the way that people's minds work anymore. I'm for Brexit and I'm for Trump because I'm a right-wing person. I don't really get it. I really am bemused by what is going on. What the hell is going on? Steve says, Nick, I set Alexa to remind my elderly mum, nearly 80 years old, to listen to your show, so she should be listening for the first time. She loved me saying I'm a nutcase. Loves, perhaps? She loves me saying I'm a nutcase. Would love it if you could welcome Kate in Windsor and say from her son, Steve in Windsor, it will make her day as she has a bad toe. You got a bad toe?
Stop whining.
No, I'm not going to say any of those things. This isn't a request show. You want a request? Get Anne-Marie Minhall on the phone. She'll play you something relaxing. I love that show. I think she's been on holiday lately. Come back, Anne-Marie. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, you really shouldn't be getting your news from that service, especially Donald Trump's Twitter feed. Just stop reading it. Put it down and walk away. It's 10:30 on LBC. The news headlines with David Dom.
Theresa May.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
Is he crazy or is that just the way he acts?
Just the way he acts. Here's a call in Manchester. Hello, Dave.
Hi there, Nick. How you doing?
Great, mate.
Wonderful. Excuse me. My point is, and I've been planning this, and it's all going to plan. We need to become the 51st state, break free from Europe, which we are doing, and join America. Wonderful. We'll take the dollar, lose the pound. Marvellous.
Okay, we'll take back control and give it to a bright orange screaming baby. That sounds a great plan.
No, it's not. It's not just one guy. Donald Trump isn't America. He represents the land of the free, home of the brave, and all that sort of stuff. And I agree with that. And that's no. That's just basic respect.
Yeah, it's just basic. It's basic science. That is. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's what it is.
Right. So what about the taking back control part? I thought that was the whole plan.
Yeah, take back control. Build a bloody wall around Britain.
Right.
And
So
you can no. Listen, let me just say this.
Take back
You can
control.
come in,
Okay. Is this just a silly call, or is it worth pursuing?
No,
I'm
definitely not.
not sure. We're going to build a wall around Britain. Really?
Build a wall. If you haven't got borders, you've got anarchy, and it's a bit.
Well, we do have borders.
Well, yeah, we need
We
them.
are we're an island, Dave. We have a natural border. We're an island. Look at the map.
Yeah, and it needs looking after, and we need to protect our borders.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we do.
Simple as. And that's all we need to do, and that's what America wants.
So we're going to build a wall.
I'm building a wall. Okay, I'm building a wall. I'm building a wall. Okay, I'm building a wall.
Billions and billions of walls.
We're going to build a wall all the way around the
Billions
island.
of walls.
Okay, and you've been thinking about this a lot, haven't you, Dave?
Keep the borders in control.
Right. Somebody should build a wall
25
around
people
you.
aborting folks and me, honestly.
Yeah. We
need to control our borders.
Okay.
Respect to everybody.
All right. Thanks a lot, Dave. You keep thinking. It's obviously what you do best. Des in Barnet says, Nick, your verbal assassination of Donald Trump is disgusting, and your defence of a brutal regime in Iran is bad. Bad. So the Donald Trump part's disgusting, but the brutal regime part is just bad. There you got your priorities straight. Says, if Russia attacked Britain, you and your fellow lefties would be begging Trump to save you. Well, here's the news. Russia has already attacked Britain. We know they have. And they've already attacked America. It's just the respective governments don't seem keen to do anything about it. They just ignore it. The attack is underway. They're here already. Except the next war is probably not going to be a firefight. It's going to be surreptitious, and it's not going to be well, they'll be spreading poison, but not actual poison. They'll be doing it with internet bots.
Affirmative.
Which is not nearly as exciting as it sounds. My attack on Donald Trump is disgusting. God, Donald Trump's fans, they talk about selective hearing. You don't hear a single thing he says, do you? There's nothing that comes out of that man's mouth that is not insulting of other people. Nothing at all, ever. He lies and 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 he insults and he grabs and he peeks and he cheats on his wife and he pays off porn stars, and you don't hear any of that. This is what I'm saying about the people, particularly on the right. I don't really get this from the left. Maybe it's because I'm not an extreme right-wing thinker. But it seems that people have decided I'm on the right, and therefore anybody that is also on the right, I agree with. And the further they are on the right, the more I agree with them. Which means that I agree with Donald Trump, and I agree with Nigel Farage, and I agree with Brexit, and I agree with all of these things. And you don't even have to tell me what the subject is. Just put me down for the most right-wing opinion on that subject. What do you think about pussycats? Kill them all. Neville says, are James O'Brien, Nick F. and the new guy all wearing the same blue suit and shirt on the mobile app pic? Yet you thought you were... What? Okay, here's... I know we didn't talk before, but can we have a few fewer kooks? And no more of this, Steve Allen said about you, and because that's just so pathetic and childish. Steve Allen did say nothing of the sort, so just pack it in. Brian says, good evening. Morning for me because I live in Thailand. Did you locate your lost soundbite? Fabulous. Yes, I did.
Fabulous.
And I also found...
Disgusting.
all of these things. Also got Oh No.
Oh no.
That's back. I ain't got no holes in my sound effects page. Well, not this one anyway. This says the emu was captured and sent back. Cheeky head coming over here. What happened to the emu? What do emus eat, I wonder? And you wouldn't think that this country would be a comfortable place for an emu. You'd think that they require a warmer climate than this. Poor thing's probably shivering around about now. Do they even like to get their feathers wet? Do they have feathers? Get David Attenborough on the phone and he'll explain it to us. Pete in Birmingham says the emu is still missing. It started to look a little suspicious now. Has it been stolen? Well, I think probably Iran is behind it. There's another reason to go to war. And I'm not making this up. It seems like we're all being buttered up to go to war. Because Jeremy Hunt has called for us to spend more money that we haven't got on weapons of mass destruction. Did you see this? It was a couple of days ago. Jeremy Hunt, the Foreign Secretary, called for a decisive hike in defence spending. Not a little bit. Not a couple of pounds here and there. Decisive, as in massive, huge. A decisive hike in defence spending he wants to see off the rising threat from Russia and China. China? What, the very company that we are begging to come here and keep our lights on? That China? It's a clear signal, says the Daily Mail, of his leadership ambitions. How's that going, by the way?
Dreadful.
Yeah. Where's he in the hit parade of our possible next PM? I don't think he's anywhere, is he? I think Bozo has got it in a runaway.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Yeah, we're all doomed. Although there are moves against him from his people in his own party. I might come to that in a while as well. So, Jeremy Hunt called for a decisive hike in defence spending to see off the rising threat from Russia and China. And what looks to me is what's happening here is that he's just... God, the lights have just gone out. All I required was a couple more minutes. Could you not just get me to the break? This is why we need China. Well, it's good exercise. I think that we're just doing whatever Donald Trump wants. I mean, it's a little bit suspicious and coincidental that Donald Trump has been whining and moaning.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
That America spends so much money on defence and yet other countries don't spend quite as much. And then up pops Jeremy Hunt and says, oh, we will. We're good boys, we are. We're just going to do whatever Donald Trump tells us to do. We're taking back control and giving it to him, like we're his poodle. We'll take back control from an elected representative body and give it to a bright orange, thin-skinned baby who cozies up to dictators because he wants to be just like them. I mean, the whole thing looks like the culmination of an evil plan by the sort of foe that James Bond faces. All we're missing is the white cat. Jeremy Hunt was speaking at the Lord Mayor's banquet in Mansion House in the City of London. He said the UK's hard power must be strengthened with billions more spent on new capabilities. Billions. Like we've got that sort of cash just lying about the place. We're still piling the debt on since the economic crash. That was perpetrated by the very grandees that he was addressing in that hall. We're borrowing about 40 billion a year just to keep afloat, just to keep the repayments up on the debt that we've already got. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we can't afford to keep our own lights on without going cap in hand to the Chinese to help us out, and we can't afford to put our own phone masts up without going cap in hand to the Chinese to help us out, then we can't afford to buy more weapons to protect us from the Chinese. Does any of this make sense?
No.
But Fat Donny says we've got to pay more. So we say, thank you, Mr. President. Can we have another? Never mind about people eating from food banks and sending their children to school hungry, or the lack of school places for them when they get there, or the lengthening waiting lists in hospitals, or the holes in the roads, or the lack of care for the needy, or any of the other things that ail us. No. What we really need is to spend money we haven't got on important stuff like bombs and bullets, and things that go whee and whoosh and boom. I mean, after all, Jeremy Hunt isn't going to suffer. He's a millionaire. And so are the people in the audience in the City of London. And the millionaire Jeremy Hunt gave his speech about the priorities of national spending to his audience of millionaires in a dinner jacket and a big floppy white bow tie, all dolled up like Scrooge McDuck, like he's trolling us. Truly, he is the champion of the poor and the dispossessed. Tell us again about the Fair Society, Mrs. M. We're all ears. And Jeremy Hunt is religious, by the way. You will be unsurprised to learn. According to ChristianToday.com, he regularly attends Holy Communion in the House of Commons chapel. Well, quick question, Jeremy Hunt. What would Jesus do? Buy more bombs or feed the poor? I mean, my knowledge of the Bible is probably not as good as yours, so what do you think, Mr. Foreign Secretary? Would Jesus spend money to heal the sick or buy ever more exciting ways to kill them? I'm just curious. It's thought that the spending boost could be as much as $20 billion a year. Keep in mind, we borrow $40 billion a year just to keep going, and he wants to boost spending on killing people by $20 billion a year. Because it ain't defence, it's attack. He wants to raise attack spending from 2 to 3% of national income. Because Donny's been screaming about it.
Whinging and whining and moaning.
And Jeremy Hunt said the foundation of Britain's security is NATO, but it's simply not sustainable to expect one NATO ally to spend nearly 4% of its GDP on defence, while others spend between 1 and 2%. And that NATO ally that spends 4% on defence is, of course, America. That's what Donald Trump's been saying for years now. We're just parroting what he says now. That bloke was right. We are the 51st state of America. But why does America spend so much money on defence? It's because the weapons manufacturers and their lobbyists have spent so much money on him. And they probably told him what big hands he has and what a great and athletic golfer he is. Despite all the evidence to the contrary. America doesn't spend so much on defence because it needs to. It spends more than the next highest spending 10 countries put together because America's economy is like a giant mechanism to take money from the people and gift it to the privately controlled military corporations. And we are running to catch up with that insanity. Jeremy Hunt warned we face a more aggressive Russia and a more assertive China. We simply do not know what the balance of power in the world will be in 25 years' time. Yeah, that's right. But we do know that Russia meddled in the American election and they meddled in the EU referendum. And what is the American government and our government doing about that? Pretending it didn't happen and hoping people will forget about it.
Oh, fabulous.
0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10, Nick Abbot, LBC.
Here on LBC, Andrew on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
And he's a great guy, and he's an honest guy.
Thanks a lot, Donny. You are the best. You're the best, worst person ever. Chiswick. Hello, Milan.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I'm great, mate.
Great. Can I say something controversial?
Oh, no. Controversial?
Oh, no. Like, I found there's a huge similarity in the last year between Trump supporters and those advocating for hardline Brexit.
Yeah.
And it's the night of the living dead.
No, what does that mean?
Well, it basically means just zombies. Like, as soon as you say facts to them and they'll just go, and they'll just ignore it.
Or as Donald Trump would put it,
I love the poorly educated.
You know, it seems that after people voted for Donald Trump and after people voted for Brexit, certain individuals just bricked up their ears and their eyes and all of the other orifices that they had available to avoid any information coming their way that they didn't already know. It's amazing. It's not that it's not even that they don't want to learn anything new. It's they refuse to learn anything new.
Yeah, and it's sticking to like 3 or 4 word slogans, and as soon as you ask them to actually, can I have a bit more detail on that?
No, there is no more detail.
There is no more detail.
Yeah,
it's just
build that wall, lock her up, make America great again. That's the only one that's got four words in it.
Well, leave means leave. Brexit means Brexit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Three words, 4 words at the most. That's all you go, and just repeat them over and over and over again, and you'll get a third of the population saying, "Yeah, that's right. Leave means leave." That really that encapsulates my feelings entirely. It doesn't mean anything at all, but that doesn't matter.
I mean, guess how many lies or misleading statements Trump has come out with since.
I think we're up to. Is it 10,000 or 14,000? Something like that.
Good guess. It's 10. Yeah, just over 10,000.
10,000. Yeah, he's running at about 20 or 30 a day.
That's astonishing.
It is amazing. There can be no other. I mean, you don't expect politicians to tell the truth all the time, but equally, you don't expect politicians to lie all the time. I mean, he's flipped what's normal completely on its head. Most politicians tell the truth most of the time, and then pepper it with a little bit of. They enhance reality, or they slip in a few lies every now and again. With Trump, it's the other way around. He lies all the time and slips in, and every now and again, by mistake, an item of truth slips out.
Yeah, and I find it's the same here when it comes to Brexit, because Farage has come out with not a complete nonsense. Same with Rees-Mogg, same with Davis. But then here's a question. Do you think it's the politicians' fault, or is it the media's fault for not picking them up on it and saying, hold on a minute, you're coming out with nonsense, I'm not going to let you get away with that?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, the media is constantly playing catch-up, particularly with Donald Trump, because by the time they have fact-checked one of his lies, he's already told another 5. And he's just basically worn the whole of the media down to the point that they're almost given up. It's like a parent who, at a supermarket, you've probably seen this, at the checkout of a supermarket, some 3-year-old will throw themselves to the ground and start screaming and screaming and screaming because mummy won't give him a chocolate-covered sugar bomb. And the parent was adamant at first, but the wailing just keeps going on, and you just give up. You thought, oh, all right then, here you are. So the kid, the whining kid, eventually gets what he wants, and that's kind of where we are now.
I am the most fabulous whiner. And I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining.
And then he gets what he wants.
Yeah, so it all comes out with just coming out with nonsense, and not anything with clarity, which is probably why Boris is in the frame to possibly be Prime Minister. Now, if that didn't chill my blood, I mean, that's just... Could you imagine Boris is now going to be the Prime Minister in a few weeks' time, Nick?
Well, at the moment, we have what's going on in America, which prevents us from being the laughing stock of the world.
Oh, shut up!
But if we had Brexit and Boris at the same time, then I think it is possible that we may overtake America, depending on what happens there next.
Boris is foreign secretary. When a British... I mean,
that's still funny to hear. But then so's Donald Trump is the president of the United States. That's still funny to hear.
Boris is foreign secretary. When the British citizen was killed, with the prime subject being a foreign power, where was Boris? He wasn't having a meeting. He got his mate to the Telegraph to give a picture of him doing his resignation letter. I mean, Boris is only interested in one person, Boris Johnson.
Yeah, well, you could say that about many politicians, but there's precious few that are so nakedly obvious about it. And Boris, that was a pretty good picture, by the way. Excellent lighting. Must have taken ages. And that was no ordinary snap, was it? That was like studio quality. I bet they had arc lamps and diffusers and everything in there.
But part of me thinks, you know what? It'd be great if he's in a position like that, because anything he says, you can try and fact check it, and it'll be robust questioning of what he's coming out with.
Yeah, it doesn't make no difference. Nobody's interested in facts anymore. We're all about feelings now. Catch up, Milan. It's feelings that we're interested in now. How does he make you feel?
So it's not about the facts of single market, customs union, etc. It's all about believing your Brexit.
Yeah.
And then you know what's going to happen now, Nick, don't you?
We're going to take back control?
Well, no, because it's you and James O'Brien's fault. You and James O'Brien.
Yeah. Well, I do take full responsibility. If I was James O'Brien, a qualified and excellent journalist, I'd be right upset being lumped in with a dope like me. So I apologise about that whole lumping in thing, James.
I am very sorry that I screwed up.
But no, I think you're doing a disservice. I remember hearing you when that American journalist came on who's on speaking about the Republicans, and then you were fact-checking her statements, and she was crumbling, coming out with nonsense. That's probably why no Brexiteer will want to be interviewed by you, because...
By me? Oh, forget it. No, they don't want to be interviewed by James O'Brien, because he's the genius at this. Have you heard James O'Brien's interview with Nigel Farage? Have you? Have you heard it?
Yes, a few years ago.
Yeah.
And
I bet Nigel Farage still wakes up sweating just thinking about it.
But that's why no Brexiteer will go on a show or your show. They'll go on the easy radio shows or TV shows where they just won't be fact-checked.
Nigel Farage has spent the entire week whining about being asked about policy positions that he has previously stated on highly important and vital issues like the NHS. To go on a TV programme and then complain about being asked about things that you have previously stated as a politician is just pathetic. I can't believe it. I'd be embarrassed if I were him and I were complaining about that. You go on a TV show to be interviewed as a politician, but you insist that you only want to be asked questions that you'd previously prepared an answer to. Good grief.
And I went to the Brexit Party's website to look at their manifesto and plan, and do you know what I found? It didn't exist. There's nothing there.
That's not breaking news. They don't actually have. That's true. They freely admit that they don't have a manifesto yet. They're going to think that up later, after they get the votes. But that's not breaking news. This is freely admitted and understood, as far as I'm aware, unless there has been some late breaking development. Okay. Well, listen, I've got to go. You seen any good films lately?
Long Shot was okay. There's a bit of a dodgy scene in there, which is cringeworthy, but it's all right. It dragged on a bit.
Long Shot? What's that about?
Yeah. It's about a speechwriter who kind of gets it on with the Secretary of State in America.
Gets it on?
Yeah, get it. Get it. Get it on.
Please.
Disgusting.
That sounds awful. So not something you want to take your parents to? No.
No.
Yeah, all right. Thanks for the warning. Cheers, Milan. 0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Oh, by the way, Richard says emus are omnivorous. They eat seeds and fruits or shoots of a wide range of plants. Huh. That's what emus eat. But what do emus taste like? A little bit like chicken?
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbot.
Yeah! Dude!
I really like you. Do you like me?
Well, like's a strong word. Michael says, I wonder if Big Don can't stop staring at John Bolton's moustache in cabinet meetings. I bet he actually hates it. Because it looks like it looks like all sorts of ick resides within that moustache. I mean, who knows how old the crumbs within its within the body of that thing are. I mean, why would anybody have that? It just seems a bit weird, doesn't it? Why would you wear a walrus moustache? That just seems a bit bizarre to me. I'll bet Donny absolutely hates it. John Bolton, by the way, he's the warlike, what is he, the Secretary of War, or one of those titles, that really wants to go to war with Iran and, pretty much every other country on earth. And despite that, I mean, people are saying that Donald Trump doesn't want to go to war, and yet despite that, Donald Trump actually employed that man as the head of war. So there's something not quite right there. Paul tweets, the best movie is The 12th Man. It's on Netflix. It's a brilliant, beautiful film, the best I've seen in quite a while. Right, I'm unfamiliar with it. I just don't go to the films anymore. I just can't be bothered. There's people in there. Ugh. I've met people, not keen. They make a noise and they're on their phones. That thing in the news about stopping kids bringing their phones into school. I thought that there was a study recently. I mean, one of the reasons that they said was, to relieve the tension that is caused by social media. But I thought that there was a big study just recently. I used to have detailed files, but I carry around so many pieces of paper that I've got to jettison them. Otherwise, I won't be able to pick up my bag. It'd be so heavy. But there was a study recently that said, teenage depression and social maladjustment and all of that had absolutely nothing to do with social media, which I thought was an odd conclusion to reach. But if they say so, it's scientific.
Affirmative.
Although a music festival is just... this is starting to increase in popularity now, and a good thing too. Not that I go out much, but if I did, I would be irritated if there was 100 people between me and the stage who were all using their mobile phones to film it. And to be clear, people don't go to a concert and film it on their mobile phones so that they can watch it afterwards, because the quality is rubbish, the picture is shaky. What's the point? They film it so that they can put it on the internet and get likes, so that they'll feel popular. God, how pathetic is that? It really is. I mean, the human race needs to take a look at itself. A new music festival is set to be the first in the country to bring in a mobile phone ban to stop social media-obsessed revelers from taking photos. It's one of the only times that anybody turns their phone the other way. Usually it's to take a picture of their own face. I must be pretty much the only person on Earth that has never taken a picture of his own face with his phone. Punters at the 2-day... But then if you'd seen my face, you'd understand the reason why. Punters at the... No, Nick, there is no reason why you wouldn't want to take a picture of your own face. Why do you beat yourself up like that? You're a unique and special person. Punters at the 2-day Fly open-air festival in Edinburgh will have their phones locked away in special cases. The ban is being brought in for its boiler room stage, and festival goers cannot open the sealed pouches with security tags on them until the end. I bought a bottle of tequila from a well-known supermarket that begins in T and ends in Esco, and they didn't take the tag off the bottle. And I don't know whether it just didn't work, but either the siren did not go off when I left.
Warning, warning.
Or I didn't hear it, and neither did anybody else. But I took it all the way home, having paid for it. Honestly, I did. I'm a good boy, I am. But it's still got its tag on it. Sitting on the shelf in the kitchen, looked like I've nicked it. But of course you can't take it back. I mean, who keeps receipts from supermarkets? I can't say that I bought this before, but even if I did keep the receipt, they could say, well, yeah, you may have bought another one before, but you've obviously nicked this one. So I couldn't take it back, but equally I couldn't, you can't take it off. What a dilemma. Anyway, there's also going to be a selfie stick ban. Does anybody still use those? Oh, for crying out loud. How self-obsessed are people? Buy an actual product in order that you'll be able to take pictures of your own face better. Good grief. A selfie stick ban. You know, this is not a new thing. Cameras used to be able to take a picture of yourself with a camera. It used to have a timer. Remember when people used actual cameras? It used to have a timer, and you'd set it on a rock or a chair or something, and you'd have 5 seconds to run around to the front and affect a smile. So we've had that ability for many decades. It's just that previously no one ever used it. Because nobody thought to take pictures of themselves every second of every day. I think there's something seriously wrong with the human race. Who's with me? The festival director of Fly Open Air Festival, which is, I think it's on now, Tom Ketley, says that banning people using their phones will allow people to live in the moment. Because when you go in, you put your phone in a little bag and they seal it and you can't get your phone out. Can you imagine what that does to the mind of your average millennial? Freaking out they are. He says you wouldn't go to the cinema and watch the film through your phone, so I don't see how this is any different. Well, people would do, I bet you. I bet people do go to the cinema and photograph it on their phone just so they can put it up on the internet and get likes. So somebody liked it. They like me. Taking credit for somebody else's work. I've got a tick. I don't understand people at all. I just don't. These security pouches are similar to those used by Jack White and Ed Sheeran. Oh, Ed Sheeran.
Boring.
Ugh. Up to 8,000 of the cases, specially made by a US startup called Yonder, are being shipped over from America. See, there's another £1 billion business idea that I didn't have. DJ Ewan, is it Ewan? E-O-I-N. Is it Ewan? I don't care. He organises club nights in Bristol. He explained for artists it's a dilemma between creating the best atmosphere and promoting yourself through social media. Yeah, you can't have both. See, if everybody's looking at the event through their phone, they're not actually looking at the event. They're looking at their phone. They're just in a little world of themselves. They're not communing with others, which is what a social event should be all about. You can commune with yourself in the privacy of your own home.
Disgusting.
He said it gets infuriating because half the time it's just a sea of phones. That must be a nightmare as an artiste. You just look out and everybody's just got their hand in the air, filming you. Idiots. He says you don't get to see people having a good time and enjoying the music. No, because they're concentrating on keeping their phone flat to get the best footage so they can put it on the internet and get likes. Gus Unger Hamilton, who plays keyboard for the band Alt J, says, as a performer and a music fan, it does make me sad that a lot of people's main fixation seems to be with taking photos and videos that they can post on social media to say that they were at the gig, rather than focusing on enjoying it in the moment. Yes, exactly, Mr. Alt J. Whatever that is. Alt J. Oh, I bet they're fantastic. Are they better than Pink Floyd?
No.
Are they better than Led Zeppelin?
No.
Are they a patch on Velvet Underground?
Negative.
Didn't think so. Is anything these days?
No.
Let's have a call in Greenwich. Hello, David.
Hello, Nick.
David.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I like your programme.
Thanks, David.
But I'm going to say something. You probably disagree with me.
Oh, no. Not another controversial statement.
No, it's not controversial.
Righto.
At all.
Go ahead.
Well, would you agree with me that the country's in crisis?
Yeah, I think the whole world is having a moment.
Well, I was just thinking, all that's going on, if you go back to the Second World War,
yeah,
the royal family were very supportive of the country, which is fair enough. Nothing against it.
Well, now, what do you mean by supportive of the country? What, they put their hands in their pockets and they started shelling out money? I don't think so. No, they did a PR trip to the East End every now and again and had themselves photographed digging for victory. Supportive? Oh, okay, then.
Well, with this business going on at the moment,
yeah,
it's been complete silence from the royal family.
Well, they don't want to get. Yeah, they don't want to get any of this mess on them, I would imagine.
So they're not allowed to have an opinion.
Well, that's the nature of it. They don't want to have an opinion because that leaves people the ability to just to project onto them whatever they want them to be. They're just blank. I mean, when was the last time the Queen said anything that you can recall? I bet I know when it was. When she said annus horribilis, and you only remember that because it sounds a bit rude.
Oh, well.
She's never said a single thing that you could recall in her entire life. They never said anything that anybody can remember. It's not by accident. That's the plan.
Oh, right. Yeah, but it's just, you know, I mean, the country is in crisis.
Yeah. You think they'd say something?
Well, I think they should say something.
Yeah.
Wherever it may be.
But you see, by saying anything at all about Brexit, for instance, they would upset a third of the country, regardless of what they say, and that third of the country might start to then object about all the money that we pour all over them. And if they want anything more than our money, then I can't think of what it might be.
So they're not allowed to have an opinion then?
No, well, it's not good business to have an opinion.
Oh, I see.
The royal family is a business above everything.
Okay.
I thought. All right. Thanks a lot, David. Cheer up, mate. It might never. Oh no, that's right. It already has. I thought people were kidding with me yesterday when they said that Meghan Sparkles put down as her occupation Princess of Britain. The stuff you read in the papers, eh? 0345 6060 973. Hey, let me remind you about my Super Soaraway podcast. I think you'll find it an amusement. If you've got half an hour and you wish to laugh, then it'll be right up your alley. It's the best of this show with some extra bits stuck on, some of my favourite calls, and the intention is to delight and amuse. If you have Global Player, the app that you can download from the App Store from Apple or Android, then you'll find it in the podcasts section. Go scroll down to the Global Podcasts in that and across to where I am. It's the Nick Abbott Habit. If you don't do that on your phone and you do it on your computer instead, then just do a Google search on the Nick Abbott Habit. Ask for it by name, the Nick Abbott Habit.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
I'm taking you off the air. I think you're having a breakdown.
Yes, that could be what this is. Andrew in Streatham tweets, is your producer a Republican? He seems to be allowing Trump nuts to eat nonsense. Yeah, not a Republican concerning the royal family. That's not what he means. He means a Republican as opposed to a Democrat. Trump nuts tweeting nonsense. Well, that sounds about right. Let's have a call in. Denham. Alex.
Hello.
Alex.
I wanted to talk about how basically the whole tensions in America, one of the reasons why everyone's agreeing with it is that no one really understands the history of Iran and why it came to be where it is.
Okay.
Well, it's just the whole problem with Iran and the reason why it started to go against America and kind of that notion of militarization. It all came down to American intervention back in the 50s. And I think no one knows the history of Iran and kind of just thinks it's this aggressor, innate aggressor, when actually it has deep roots in American intervention in the 50s and under the Shah.
Yes. Well, the Americans tried to stage a coup and put in their own man, and the Iranians quite reasonably objected to that, and the Americans have been sore about them ever since. Is that about it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all you see about Iran on the TV news is people furiously burning American flags. Now, where they get them from, I've got no idea. I couldn't put my hands on an American flag in this country given 24 hours notice. I wouldn't know where to get one. Where do the Iranians keep getting them from? No, not a clue. But what I do know about Iran is that that's not Iran. There may be people like that in Iran, but you could say that equally that Britain is like I don't know. Britain is like I'm trying to think of somebody other than Nigel Farage to bring up as an example. But all right, what did people see from abroad about this country a lot? Like Boris Johnson. It's like assuming that this entire country is like Boris Johnson. It's not. Iranians it's a very, very young country, apart from anything else. And you don't think that when you think about Iran. You think about old guys who are, the old religious leaders. But that's not Iran. It's an extremely young country. And in all of the Middle East, I think Iran is the most, bizarrely, why? It's hard to imagine. But I think Iran is the most positive towards America of all of the countries in that area. Is that correct? Are you actually Iranian?
No,
Right.
I studied for my own self, like in my history coursework, like about Iran,
Yeah.
and I found it fascinating how actually Iran was deemed as this kind of, particularly in the 70s, it was very kind of, in brackets, westernized and kind of pro-America.
Yes.
Point where the Shah was even kind of criticized for, like, not even recognizing his own people. So it's kind of, I think, not without having that kind of contrast, I think it's very difficult to understand where Iran is now.
Well, all we know about Iran, unless we actually take time to look it up, and nobody does that anymore. We take on board one fact about any given issue, and then we close our mind to it. But if you just look up Iran, you'll find that it's a beautiful place of people who are just as wonderful and awful as they are in this country, or in America, or Belgium, or France, or anywhere else that you might think. It's not this the country of terrorists that is portrayed on the news, and is portrayed by the Americans who just want some kind of war in order to increase Donald Trump's ratings. That's not what Iran is like at all.
Yeah, it's all about political and financial gain. It's not about anything else. And I think that's with every Middle Eastern country. If you even think about Saudi Arabia, I say UK provides most of the military stuff.
Well, I mean, if you look at the defence, this is the reason why we are so keen on Saudi Arabia, is because of this is a ranking of countries by their military spend. America is way out in the lead because America is the next 10 highest spending countries combined. That's how much money America spends on so-called defence. And the reason is because it's not about defence, it's about funneling public tax dollars to the defence industry. America is a socialist country, but the socialist beneficiaries are the people who make bombs and bullets. They're so happy they can hardly count. So America is way out in the lead. Nobody even comes close to them. The next 10 countries' spend combined equals America's spend. How ridiculous is that? So that's why Donald Trump keeps whining to other countries aren't spending so much, is because they spend such a fantastic amount, but not because it's out of the goodness of their heart. It's because it's they're just funneling money to the privately owned industrial military machine. China is next. The United States spends $643 billion a year. $643 billion a year. China spends 168. And guess who's next on the list of highest spending countries with the attack business? Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is third on the list, above even Russia. That's why we like them so much, is because they keep buying our bullets and bombs. Iran, not on this list. Not even in the top 15. That's why we don't like them very much. If they spent more money here, then we'd love them. That is the nature of our ethical foreign policy. It's all about the money, honey. So, is there anything else that you wanted to say?
No, I just felt like letting.
Yeah, you wanted to put the other side. Quite right. It's a side that almost never gets heard. Iran is not a country of mad mullahs who are intent on the destruction of the West. Iran is a country of young people who want to get on with their lives and start businesses and fall in love and go skating and listen to music and buy fashionable clothes and sunglasses, just like we are. Yeah.
Wasn't there some feminist movement rising in Iran as well recently? There's a lot of things that are kind of emerging that are as they seem so speaking Western, and a lot of people just imagine a load of like women suppressed and stuff like that, and that's another reason to like, oh, we need to intervene. Every country develops in their own time. It goes backwards, it goes forwards. I mean, look at Britain.
Well, look at America. I mean, America are fast going backwards as far as women's rights are concerned. The Republican Party seems to exist for two reasons. Well, three. Just the holding on to power at any cost, tax cuts for millionaires, and restricting women to making babies and standing at the stove all day. That seems to be their reason for existing. And because they've got the screaming Mimi in charge at the moment, he's stuffed the courts with his ditto heads, whatever Donny says. And America, women's rights in America has taken a reverse turn. They've slammed the car into reverse, and they're going in the wrong direction. So, to point at Iran and criticise them for, restricting women's rights is a bit rich if you are an American doing that. I've got to go, Alex, but thanks a lot. Cheers. 0345 6060 973. Diana emails about the T-Man. Is it possible that he was allowed to become the president as a distraction for something possibly worse to come? No. Worse? With Bozo the Mayor, I'm also curious and horrified at the thought of these the two of these oddities joining forces in some hideous way. I shall be building my very own Anderson shelter if Blondie becomes our PM, and will probably be hiding there until the end of the world has been and gone. Kindest regards, says Diana. Yeah, we got Donald Trump in the White House and Boris Johnson potentially in number 10. What could possibly go wrong?
No one is ever safe on this hostile planet.
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
There's moves afoot to stop Boris. Anybody but Boris. A lot of people in the Conservative Party are just freaking out just at the very idea of it. Thinking about him in number 10. Of course, Boris has had a haircut and everything. So he's primed for the job. He had a haircut and nobody really made a big deal about it. He must have been furious. I bet it cost a lot of money. I bet he spent £100 on that haircut. I'd bet every item of clothing I'm wearing that he spent £100 on that haircut. And it didn't really get him much press. I bet he was furious. He's tried to smarten himself up and barely anybody even noticed. as though combing his hair and getting a trim is going to cancel out an entire life of buffoonery. It's an act. Of course it's an act. But it's one that's served him pretty well from school onwards. In fact, he dresses and acts just like a school child. And it's done him... it's put him in great stead. Up to the point at which you hand over the keys to the country. I wouldn't hand over the keys to my car. Oh, by the way, you know the ULEZ charge in London? I drove my old car into the centre of London today.
Oh, no.
Which means that I have been fined £12.50. Thanks a lot, you mayor. And it occurred to me, I thought, because I bought another car in order to avoid the ULEZ charge, but that was an 8-year-old car and it is currently in 1,000 different bits in a garage because it broke down almost the moment I bought it. I am such a stupid idiot. But anyway, we'll pass on that. And I thought, £12.50, oh, all right then. I go in by train ordinarily, but when I leave the building here, it's Sunday morning. It's very, very difficult with public transport. It's just a nightmare. And so I thought I'll drive in and I'll suffer that £12.50 charge. And it only occurred to me when I parked and left it that I'm not going back in this day. I'm going back tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. Does that mean I'm going to get charged twice? Does anybody know? Because if so, I'm very up. I don't care about saving the planet anymore. I'm sorry if this sounds selfish, but it's me. My favourite line from Absolutely Fabulous. 0345 6060 973. Hey, look, it's just past 11:30. The news headlines in LBC with David Dom.
Theresa May. Leading Britain's conversation. LBC with Nick Abbott.
What the hell is going on?
Nobody knows, Donny. You have put our minds all in a whirl. We don't know where we are anymore. Woodford, Hussein.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
Oh, I'm great, mate.
Good. I just wanted to say a few words about the Iranian issue. I know you did say it's about the money. Money, I do think, is part of the reason, but I think the main sort of motive behind it is Israel, to be honest.
Well, Saudi Arabia as well. I mean, Saudi Arabia and Israel seem to be twinned with this, that they really, really don't like Iran.
That's true. That's very true, actually, because if you look at the decisions Trump being taken when he decided to make Jerusalem the capital of Israel, which made the Muslim population really angry, and then he's
I bet it made the American diplomats really angry as well, because Tel Aviv is a nice place to be. Jerusalem, not so much. I bet they were furious.
They probably were, yeah, definitely. They probably were. Even the Golan Heights decision to say now we've got to recognize that as part of Israeli territory. I mean, even that. And now, all these decisions, and now we know, many years ago that Saudi Arabia and Israel wanted a war against Iran, because Iran is powerful. They are a big population. They've got a big army.
Well, it's the Shia. I don't really want to get into it, but it's a religion thing, apart from anything else, isn't it? It's the Shia and the Sunnis and the Shia. Or, as I say, I don't really want to get into it because, religion.
There is that. Yeah, there is that. Also, I mean, I think Israel, looking at the population of Israel, is 8 million now, and it's growing. And the land is small. They need to expand. They need to get bigger and bigger. And they don't want powerful nations next to them, because they know when they want to extend their lands, they know these powerful countries are going to probably get involved, and they don't want that. So I think that's one of the reasons why Trump wants to please the Jewish lobby in the United States.
Yeah,
and they've got a lot of money.
I think exactly. It's the money that they funneled to him. Why does he like coal? It's because the coal industry gave him tens of millions of dollars in order to fund his campaign to become the president of the United States of America. That's why he goes on about coal all the time. Not because he actually personally likes coal. He's from the 50th floor of a solid gold skyscraper in New York. What does he know about coal? They gave him a ton of money. That's why he keeps going on about it.
Maybe he's burning coal up there.
Yeah, I very much doubt it.
All right, mate. Thank you.
All right, cheers. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, it just seems so transparent that America desperately wants a little war just to get Donny's ratings up. And the Saudi Arabians are playing him like a flute. America should launch surgical strikes against Iran, a state-affiliated Saudi newspaper has said. Well, they could do it themselves, surely. They're the third biggest spending nation on the attack business on Earth. But they want America to do it for them. The Arab News newspaper, a newspaper called The Arab News, argued that the US had set a precedent with strikes against Bashar al-Assad's regime in 2017 following the chemical strikes in Khan Sheikhoun. You remember that? Oh, Donny sent some missiles in there, and even CNN was giving them a round of applause. Iran should be targeted following attacks against the Saudi oil infrastructure. First, the bomb attacks on 2 Saudi tankers, followed by drone strikes on 2 pumping stations. And those attacks have been pinned on Iran. Does anybody doubt that?
Yes.
Rather ignoring, of course, Saudi Arabia's own record of using weapons that we sell them to bomb schools and hospitals. I mean, it resulted in a lot of innocent dead people, but I suppose they were the right kind of innocent dead people. So we apparently don't care about them, and the Saudis certainly don't. One side kills innocents and we roll out the military. The other side kills innocents and we roll out the red carpet. And the Queen gets wheeled out to glad hand them and give them tea. That's the nature of our ethical foreign policy. We just care about how much money you've got. It's the British way. What a way to run a country, eh?
Dreadful.
An editorial in the newspaper The Arab News says Crown Prince Mohammed was clearly correct when he argued that appeasement does not work with the Iranian regime, just as it did not work with Hitler. Hitler? Oh, that didn't take long, really, did it? Already on about the Nazis. I think when you go to the Nazi place, you're probably on thin ice. It says, our view is that they must be hit hard. They need to be shown that circumstances are now different. We call for a decisive, punitive reaction to what happened so that Iran knows that every single move they make will have consequences. Every breath you take and every move you make, they'll be watching you. Get Sting on the phone and he'll sing it to us.
Rock and roll!
Of course, singing will probably get you arrested in Saudi Arabia, so cancel that. Stand down, Sting. By the way, the newspaper The Arab News is owned and managed by members of the Saudi royal family, who run that country like it's their private company. And this all comes amid spiralling tensions between the US and Iran, which has been building for weeks and peaked this week amid fears that the two are heading for war. What on earth would make anybody think that Donald Trump is warlike?
I'll bring us into war.
America is moving 2 strike carrier groups to the region. The screaming Mimi said on Twitter that Iran would be willing to negotiate soon. You know, they released this this high-definition video of the super secret B-2 bomber dropping bunker buster bombs. Did you see that? Which is right out of Vladimir Putin's playbook. He does that too. Oh, I've got weapons. You wouldn't believe the weapons I've got. Iran will be willing to negotiate soon, says Donald Trump, after sending a couple of aircraft carriers and enough bombs and bullets to sink a planet. He still thinks of himself as a master deal maker, despite the fact that his entire repertoire of deal-making is to whine and whine and whine till the other side gives up.
I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining.
It's like dealing with a toddler that throws a fit when he can't have a chocolate. He screams and screams and screams till his parents just can't stand it anymore. Great deal-making, Donnie. Too bad your dad isn't here anymore to sort out the mess you make.
Oh, shut up!
Since the US was warning about Iran on May the 5th, the only incident has been a still mysterious so-called attack on those tankers anchored off shore and the pumping station or whatever it was. We don't know it was Iran. We just have to take the word of the people that want to go to war with Iran that it was them. 1 or more vessels incurred light hull damage, but what caused the damage and who was behind it remains unknown. But I think we can guess. Great for ratings. Believe him.
Believe me. 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 Okay.
Nobody believes you, Donnie. 0345 6060 973 Ipswich. Gary.
Hello, Nick.
Gary.
A few things. The Chinese don't spend as much as America on their army and defence and whatever, because the costs of things in China is a lot less than what it would be. Let's take the Chinese army, probably huge, millions of people in the army. They're probably paid about 50 quid a week. So the wages, the wages compared to an American soldier is totally different. Because they're probably paid. Yeah, I'm just chucking out an example.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make it extreme, one extreme to the other. But I know that in America, to employ someone in the army would probably cost $500 to $1,000 a week. Someone in China, £50 to £75 a week. So you've got a huge difference in monies there.
Yeah, but that doesn't speak to the difference between them. America spends $643 billion a year. China, $168.
Well, you think what it costs for us to do anything in this country? It costs billions just to do a roundabout on a road. You know? Yeah.
That must be some spectacular roundabout.
Well, they still haven't finished it yet. So now Iran.
Yeah.
I've been to Iran. It's a beautiful country.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on, and you know, it's not as desert as whatever.
No, it's green. They got gardens and yeah.
Yeah, it's a fantastic country, and the people are great. You know, we met people from villages, hilltop places.
Every Iranian I've ever met's nice.
Yeah, they're lovely people. But when you've got people in charge of the country chucking out statements like, we'd like to nuke Israel off the face of the earth, you can't let these people in charge take an inch because they take a mile.
Well, you could say the exact same thing about Israel. Not that I really want to get into Israel versus the rest of that area, but there's guilt on both sides.
Yeah, I want to do the opposites and make sure it's a reasoned debate. But you see, when Saddam Hussein tried to destroy Kuwait, imagine the damage he done when he went into there and raped and pillaged the whole country. He destroyed the oil fields.
Yeah, well, let's not go back too far, though, Gary, because then we'll start to look at ourselves and our own actions in that area.
No, but this is what's happening at the moment. This is why people are wary of what Iran can do and what they might do. So when something like tankers are being attacked in the Gulf...
By whoever it might be.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know the full extent. All I've heard is what I've heard on LBC.
Yeah.
So the in-depth news isn't. It's a lot of sound bites and whatever. It's not.
Well, it's just reporting what America said. That's what the news does. Is just report the loudest. Whoever shouts the loudest, and America shouts the loudest, and they say from a position of thousands of miles away, well, we definitely know who did that. Whereas a British general at the scene said, oh, no, they didn't. And America said, oh, you've got no idea what you're talking about. We experts from a position of thousands of miles away know much more than you who are standing there on the spot.
Well, spin comes from all sides, whether it's you suggesting everyone who supports a right-wing policy is an extremist and a nutcase and whatever. Or
I don't believe I ever said that.
Well, you put it into such words that it makes us that voted for Nigel, that likes Donald, that likes the idea of looking after our own and whatever. You make it sound as if we're
looking after our own. I don't see that Brexit. Wait a minute. I don't see that Brexit or Donald Trump are aligned with looking after our own. I think the opposite is true. But never mind.
Well, looking after yourself. But at the end of the day, all most people want is they want quite a comfortable life. They want to know that what they're doing is feasible for the planet. We like to know that we're looking after our family, keeping ourselves in good health.
Yeah, and Donald Trump is the opposite of all of that. He is an impediment to everything that you just said, for both the American people and, by extension, the rest of the planet.
Well, he's given millions of people in America hope.
Hope?
Because he's saying the things they want to hear in terms of that their industries in the Midwest and their Rust Belt areas that have been decimated.
That's not hope. Hope is not going pretending that you can go back in time. He's not going to revivify. Yes, he is. That's his whole thing. We're going to bring back coal. That's going back in time. There's like 50,000 people, something like that, who are employed by the coal industry. There's 250,000 people who are employed in the solar power industry. And who's he concentrating on? The coal industry. He's going to bring back clean coal. There's no such thing. And he's going to bring back clean coal and keeps going on about it because the coal industry gave him tens of millions of dollars. The solar power industry didn't, and so he's very much against it. And the wind industry as well. The stuff he comes out with, like he knows wind.
I know a lot about wind. I know a lot about wind.
Honestly, Gary, you seem like a smart man. How can you believe that stuff? He talked about wind power and renewables like if the wind stops, you won't be able to make a cup of coffee. It's just ridiculous. And the drooling yeehaws at his safe space rallies, they whoop and cheer. Yeah, that's what wind power is like. As soon as the wind stops, all the lights go out. I mean, it's just absolute rubbish. He does want to go back in time. You're never going to bring back 1950s America. It's gone. You have to move forward, not back. He's not giving them hope. He's given them a false hope at the very best. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. And he should be punished, but if experience tells us anything, he looks like he's just going to get away with it. He could well be the world's biggest and best con artist. giving them hope. Give me strength. 0345 6060 973. Friday and Saturday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
Here on LBC, Majid Nawar Abbott. On LBC, call 0345 6060 973.
Hello? Number, please. Trying to connect you. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Yes, sorry to keep you waiting, Fulham. John.
Hi there, Nick.
John.
Just weighing on your conversation about people with mobile phones and kids at school.
Yeah, we're not on speakerphone by any chance, are we?
No.
Okay.
Can you hear me all right?
Please speak directly into your mobile phone.
I will speak into the communication device, yes.
Righto, go ahead.
So, people with mobile phones, yeah? How many people do you see walking along the street paying no attention to other people, just staring at their phone, aimlessly wandering around? And just
wandering into traffic.
Absolutely.
Loads of them.
Yeah, I personally think people should be banned from using them on streets.
Yeah, well, perhaps. If you're moving, whether in or out of a vehicle that you are in charge of, and that includes yourself, then you should not be able to. You shouldn't be staring at a phone. No.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about people walking around the streets.
Yeah, that's why I was saying that in a very clumsy way.
But the other one, here's a question for you. Why is it when you go to somewhere like McDonald's, and you ask your girlfriend, does she want anything? She always eats your fries when she says no.
Well, the thing about fries is, I think that they've got drugs in them. Not that McDonald's fries have got drugs in them, but all chips. I think that the process of frying or even baking a potato actually produces drugs. Because my proof of that is there is no other food item that you would steal from another person's plate, is there? Nothing.
True, but people will steal chocolate and stuff like that. If someone's eating chocolate, someone will pinch that off.
No, but if you were served it in a restaurant, if you had a chocolate mousse, you would not lean over and eat someone else's chocolate mousse, would you? Or cake,
You've not met my girlfriend.
But you're not painting her in a very good light here, John.
No, she just turned around and she go, I try this, just take it off.
Right. Well, see, that's entirely between you and her. But I'm talking about people who don't know each other very well, who aren't actually, swapping.
Walk up and grab your fries.
Who aren't swapping spit on a regular basis. I'm talking about that kind of thing. Yeah, but chips. It's weird. Even somebody that you don't know very well, you would still at least think about taking a chip. It seems to be something that you just can't resist. I'm sure there are drugs in chips. Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm actually serious about this. I think that the process of frying a potato produces drugs.
Want to score some pot?
And we just can't resist them. I know I can't. Chips with everything. You might want to consider your relationship there, John. Or just buy two portions of chips, for crying out loud. They're not that expensive. All right, cheers, mate. 0345 6060 973. Eddie tweets, Nick, you were wrong. What? America doesn't want war with Iran. Trump does. Or possibly just Bolton. Bolton, this is John Bolton, the National Security Advisor, who is advising that they don't have any security. Yeah, but I didn't say America wants a war. I said specifically Donald Trump wants a war. Anyway, Eddie says Trump has less than 40% support here. The other 60+% can't wait till he leaves and desperately does not want any such war. Well, I'm not sure that's entirely true. He does have terrible support levels, or if you believe, or as Donald Trump would to put it, nobody has better support than me. It may be below 40%. I think it's probably the worst of any president in history, or as he would put it, the best ever. And whether the other 60% can't wait till he leaves or not, I think it's maybe, maybe not. I don't know. America's such a weird place. Even if I took a holiday, I don't think I'd want to go there at the minute. I just think it's just too strange. I'd have to go somewhere else. Like Mexico would be a better place. Mexico's looking north thinking, maybe they should build that wall. Let's have Muswell Hill. Hello, Mark.
Oh, hi Nick. Hi, thank you. Good to hear you're really enjoying the show as always.
Thanks.
Look, I just look. You know, Iran, Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever. What we're doing, what we've been doing the last 20 years, it seems like we're kind of like a retiree. You know, we've done our job. We've beaten the Soviets. We've won our big war, the Cold War. And ever since, we're just sort of looking around, going, well, what am I going to do? You know, it's like we need a hobby that's not bombing poor countries. That's my take.
I'm not sure that we won the Cold War. I think Blue Jeans and Dallas won the Cold War.
Yeah. Yes, all true. We have nothing. Where is we have faded away as a little civilization. We've got nothing but Ed Sheeran to keep us pepped
God,
up.
but let's hope that that's not true.
Rock and roll!
Ed Sheeran, that's all we've got now.
I know. Look, we've got something else though. This is amazing. Look, everyone listening, 60 miles away from everyone is a frontier that I think we should be getting involved in pretty seriously.
Go on.
Which is directly upwards. Space begins. It's only 60 miles away. It's there. Why aren't we taking a proper look around up there? Get that military-industrial complex, reorganize it. We'll be having a laugh. You know, I want to get up there pretty damn soon, actually.
Where you want to go where no man has gone before?
I'm hungry for the void.
The final frontier.
2001. I'm ready for it. We need something meaningful to engage with, and maybe the great unknown is what we should be going for.
Okay, well, suit up, Mark. I'll meet you at Cape Canaveral. How does that sound? All right, thanks a lot, mate. 0345 60 6060 973. You can text.
This is LBC from Global, leading Britain's conversation with Nick Abbott.
Hello.
I am not one of your fans!
So I came in about halfway through that match, fully expecting the result that came about, and I did feel a little bit sorry for him. I mean, after 4-0, I would imagine that you just don't want to play anymore. You just want the final whistle. Oh, can we get this over with? This is painful, you must have thought. Playing for Watford. Poor guys. Did feel a little bit sorry for him. But Man City, they just make it look so bloomin' easy. Piece of cake, that game. Anyone could do it. Muniza emails, I remember reading that America has more weapons than the whole of the rest of the world put together. America? I think Texas has more weapons than the whole of the rest of the world put together. Gaz says, chips, fish, peas and gravy is the best, with salt and vinegar, King Edward's spuds just lovely. Chips, fish, peas and gravy? Ooh. Gravy. What kind of gravy goes with fish? Of course, if you're an hembra, it comes with the sauce. Not in Glasgow, but in Edinburgh. And it's a very watery, highly sticky sauce. It's a brown sauce that's got loads of vinegar in it. I think that's how they make it. They get HP sauce and then they vinegar it down till it is just this unctuous squirt all over your chips. So messy. I love it. Paul says, look on the bright side. If America caused conflict in Iran, then Hollywood could make a follow-up to Argo. Argo. I'm pretty sure I've seen that, but I can't remember how it goes. How does... do you know? How does Argo go?
I think... Is it the one... No, that's Midnight Express. Wrong one.
Midnight Express?
I don't know why I thought of Midnight Express.
We should play the theme tune to Midnight Express, Giorgio Moroder.
That's great.
It is great. Midnight Express, that's such an old reference for you. That film must be older than you are. Where did that come from?
I don't know. It just came to my mind.
Midnight Express. Well, here's a tip.
Warning, warning.
Don't strap heroin to you if you go to Turkey, or if you try and leave Turkey. Or just don't go to Turkey. It's probably excellent advice. Dylan tweets, Donald Trump will 100% declare war on at least one country before the end of his presidency. The question is who? I completely agree. And it will be entirely for ratings. He just doesn't care. He is that awful a human being that he would willingly kill lots of people just to get his ratings up. Ain't that right, Donny?
Quiet, quiet, quiet.
Yeah. Let me take this call who's been waiting a while, and then I'll get into something else. Let's have a call in Epping. Ali.
Good morning, Nick.
Yes, sir.
I enjoy listening to your show tonight.
Thanks.
I'm Iranian. What it is, when Saddam was saying, I'll just give a brief history what happened.
History? Oh, no, please, no. History.
Pass through the only 20 years.
All right, only 20 years. Why 20 years? Why would we only go back 20 years?
Because it started from when Saddam was saying...
No, I don't think it started 20 years ago. I think it started a long time ago, way beyond 20 years. I mean, there was us drawing straight lines on that entire area and apportioning land. So if you want to go back to when it really kicked off, it was our fault. But anyway, okay, 20 years.
Yeah, when Saddam was saying declare war against Iran and invaded Iran, I was in Iran, 8 years old child, you know. The majority of Western countries were supporting Saddam Hussein, selling ammunition, everything. And Iran was begging for any ammunition to just fight against Saddam Hussein, and no one sell it to him.
Because at the time, Saddam Hussein was our crazy dictator, and then he became somebody else's crazy. Well, he became his own person, didn't he?
When the war ended, Iran starts beginning to just doing its own defense system, you know, and starts playing as a major player in a regime, you know, in a region. So what has happened starts making all these wars and anything to just defend the country. And what has happened, because the American policy didn't work in Middle East anymore because of Iran, because Iran play a major role in a region. So they try to attack Iran in any single direction. And what has happened for the past 5-6 years is all the sanctions. And now right now, because Iran can't sell any oil, the inflation is over 50%.
Yeah, the sanctions on Iran are directly affecting the poorest people in Iran. They're not really affecting the leaders, they're affecting the people in Iran. It's almost like walking into a pub. America walks into a pub and smashes Iran in the face, and then America complains to the police when Iran says that you're being mean to us. That's pretty much where we're at. Yeah, the sanctions. It's like goading that country into war. Everything that's happening at the minute just seems so blatantly obvious that is exactly what America is doing. It's a really bad line, Ali. I'm having some trouble in understanding some of what you say, so I'm going to leave it there. But thanks for that. 0345 6060 973. James and Chris called in to say, Midnight Express, it's cannabis he straps to his chest, not heroin. Well, it's such a long time since I've seen that film. I only saw it once. It's the kind of film you only want to see once. It's really, really good, but you only want to see it once. And that one time made me decide never to go to Turkey. Not now, not ever, never. Which is an unreasonable thing to think, perhaps, at that time. But I know I'm not the only person who made that choice. It was cannabis he strapped to his chest. Huh. Well, because of the harshness of the punishment, I must have changed that in my mind to it would make more sense if it was heroin. But some countries are just berserk about any kind of drug, which just seems odd to me. It grows out the ground. Marijuana grows out of the ground. If God did not mean it to grow out the ground, it wouldn't be growing out the ground. Ain't that right? Assuming you believe in all that. Dan says, whatever happened to the Scottish homeowner a few years back who was a thorn in Uncle Donald's land plans for his greater-than-great Scottish golf course in Dront, situated in view of the offshore wind turbines. That Scottish man ought to have had a knighthood for shunning the greatest real-time fraudster ever. Yeah, there was a documentary about that. I was on his side, absolutely. Donald Trump is the biggest con man in the history of the world. It's just amazing that people are so gullible.
I love the poorly educated.
Yeah, they put you where you are today. On the other hand, Craig tweets, "Hi Nick, here are some facts for you." Facts? Ugh, no one is remotely interested in facts. He says, record employment since 1959. He's talking about America here. He's bigging up Donald Trump. He says, record employment since 1959, record numbers of African American and Latinos in work, 500,000 manufacturing jobs created, average hourly wage up. These are a few of the things down to Trump and why he will be re-elected in 2020. Well, Craig, you obviously get your news from Donald Trump's tweets. You might want to get your news from other places, because he is he's turning your mind into mush. Those aren't facts. If you actually want facts, here we go. In 2017, the top 10 corporate executives in America saw their combined compensation skyrocket by over 60% from the year before, soaring to $1.85 billion. That's 10 people got a 60% pay rise to a combined $1.85 billion. The top 10 corporate executives in America. This is who is benefiting from Donald Trump's America. The top 25 hedge fund managers on Wall Street made over $15.3 billion in compensation in 2017, up 40% from the previous year. Incredibly, $15.3 billion is nearly double what all kindergarten teachers in America made last year, all of them combined. All of the kindergarten teachers in America combined, all 140,000 of them made half of what the top 25 hedge fund managers on Wall Street made. The 5 richest people since Donald Trump was elected, the 5 richest people in America have seen their wealth go up by $100 billion. And corporations announced over $1 trillion in stock buybacks in 2018 alone. Why do corporations buy back stocks? In order to raise the price of those stocks, which kicks in bonuses for the chief executives. So under Trump, the economy is absolutely booming for billionaires and corporate America, but for working families, not so good. Trump promised his tax giveaway to the rich would put an extra $4,000 into the pockets of middle-class families. You remember? Well, it didn't work out that way. Bonuses for average workers are up by, guess how much per hour? Since Trump's tax plan was signed into law, bonuses for average workers are up by 2 cents an hour. And while the official unemployment rate is low at 3.9%, the real unemployment rate is much higher. If you include those that have given up looking for work and those that are working part-time when they actually need a full-time job, the real unemployment rate's not 3.9%, like Donald Trump keeps tweeting, and his gullible public keep retweeting. It's not 3.9, it's 7.6% unemployment. And he keeps tweeting about how great African American and Latino workers are doing. And that's a lie too. As is his lie about young people in work. Over 20% of Americans in their prime working years, between 25 and 54, don't have a job. 20%. That's higher than it was 11 years ago. And the real unemployment rate for young adults is still off the charts. According to the Economic Policy Institute, over 25% of young white Americans between the ages of 18 and 21 who have graduated from high school are unemployed or underemployed, a quarter. And for Hispanic people, it's 27%. And for African American adults, 40%. The economy is not absolutely booming when nearly 80% of workers live paycheck to paycheck, hoping that they don't get sick or their car doesn't break down. You've got hundreds of thousands of young people unable to go to college in America because it costs too much. 30 million Americans have no health insurance. 1 out of 5 Americans can't afford the medicine prescribed by their doctors to treat their current ailments. 1 in 5. 40 million Americans are living in poverty. Tell us again about how great Donald Trump is for the average working person. There's more income and wealth inequality in America than at any time since the 1920s. 46% of all new income since the Wall Street crash has been created in the US, has gone to the top 1%. 46% of the new income that has been created since the crash has gone to the top 1%. Corporate CEOs have seen their income rise by 937% over the last 40 years. 937%! And they now make 360 times more than their average workers. Oh, the economy is doing great, if you're rich. In America, the top 0.1% owns as much wealth as the bottom 90%. I'll read that again. The top 0.1% owns as much wealth as the bottom 90%. The 3 wealthiest people in America own more wealth than the bottom half of Americans. 3 people own as much as 50% of Americans. 160 million people own combined as much as the top 3 richest people in America. And the median household income, the average household income in America, is less today than it was 35 years ago, adjusting for inflation. And the average wealth of the bottom 40% of America is 0. They have nothing. And the wealth gap between white and black has more than tripled over the past 50 years. Trump's policies are moving the country in exactly the wrong direction. And 83% of the benefits of Trump's tax plans and his economic miracle have gone to the top 1%. 83% of the benefits of Trump's tax plan have gone to the top 1%. But, you know, these are just the facts, not gleaned from Donald Trump's Twitter feed. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, Craig. 0345 6060 973. Text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's @LBC. Friday and Saturday night at 10. Nick Abbott, LBC.
This is LBC.
Hey, Harry.
This is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet @LBC. Text 84850.
Now, I just wanted to really say that I love you. I respect you. There's nobody I respect more. You're going to do a fantastic job.
Yeah, I think he was talking to Melania. What do you think about that, Melania?
I don't care.
0345 6060 973. It must be a job. A cruel and unusual punishment. Let's have a call in Wembley. Ahmed.
Hello.
Yes, Ahmed.
How are you, Nick?
I am great, mate.
Nick, I've been really enjoying listening to your talk so far.
Thanks.
But I've got a question for you. You've been attacking Donald Trump.
A query?
You've been attacking Donald Trump. And I just want to say, is he really that bad? I mean, you compare him to the other presidents.
Yes, he is. Do you have another question for me?
No, but I'm actually questioning, I'm actually asking you the question still.
Mm-hmm.
You've had presidents before who've gone to wars with countries and killed innocent children. And this joker, Donald Trump, is going there. He's got no tension with Russia. He's got no tension with North Korea. I mean,
no, any country that's run by a dictator, he absolutely loves because he wants to be a dictator.
But he can't be a dictator.
Well, I don't know. He seems to be moving along pretty sharply in that direction. Laws don't apply to him.
you know what
He wants a military parade. He likes to surround himself with the military. He likes to pull on military jackets. He wants. He's making the 4th of July celebrations all about him, apparently.
But you're picking up. Yeah, but Nick, if
I know
if
these are only facts. I know. I apologise for giving facts.
Nick. Okay, Nick. This is the thing. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Big wow. He's such a bad man. Previous presidents went to war and killed innocent people in Iraq, Afghanistan for what no weapons of mass destruction is ever found. I wonder if that's something to cry about, or the fact that Donald Trump's, he's forgot to cross his legs, or that's what the media's been doing for the past 2 years.
Forgot to cross his legs.
Yeah, Donald Trump forgot to do this. Donald Trump's got tissue stuck at the bottom of his shoe. Oh my God, he's an evil man. People need to grow up and look at what the guy's doing.
What is he doing?
You go to BBC News and you look at the news from the 80s and people are crying about North Korea. Oh my God.
Ahmed, what are you talking about? We're not in the 80s anymore. Step into the new into the new year. You never know, you might like it.
Nick, what I'm talking about, Nick, is that basically, long story short, the media doesn't have anything to talk about. The media doesn't have anything to talk about.
We're up to our eyeballs in news. What are you talking about?
No, the media's pissed off that, oh my God, there's no nuclear weapon test from North Korea. Oh my God, there's no tension between Russia and America anymore. The media has got nothing to talk about anymore.
Ahmed, where are you? I honestly don't know what to even. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Yes, this is the same question again. Yes, Ahmed. Stop getting your news from Donald Trump's Twitter feed.
Okay, then let me ask you a question.
Another one.
Who's more worse, George Bush or Donald Trump?
George Bush is not currently the president of the United States of America.
Absolutely.
What's he got to do with it?
Let me ask the question again. Who's more worse?
Who's more worse?
Who was more worse, George Bush or Donald Trump?
Yeah, let me reply again. George Bush is not currently the president of the United States of America.
I'm going to ask you the question again.
Yeah, okay, but don't, because I'll just give you the same response again. We had to deal with George Bush then. George Bush isn't in power anymore. That's true. Next you'll be saying, or what about Hillary? These people, it's just amazing to me. Donald Trump can do anything at all, and you'll still say, yeah, but what about Hillary? He takes babies from families and then pretends that he isn't doing it and that it's actually the fault of the Democrats, and then insists that they don't give the babies back because it would be too much trouble. That's your Donald Trump. Yeah, but what about Hillary's emails? Oh, God. The people's gullibility is just, it's off the scale. Maybe people were always this, what's a polite way of saying stupid? Maybe people were always this stupid, and it's only just become apparent that the human race has the brains of a soap dish. That in moments of quiet contemplation, the noise that people hear between their ears is this. Maybe it's only just become apparent that that's the case. But Struth, was the human race always this gullible? I don't think so. Maybe there's something in the water. Maybe those people that keep banging on about the contrails. Maybe there's something in that. Maybe the stupidification of this nation is all because of the stuff that's squirted out of planes high up in the sky. Well, what's so bad about Donald Trump? God, do you get the news where you are? Struth. And you know what is on my board? What he said he was going to say is that I was spot on about Donald Trump. And then he switched it. He gave me the old switcheroo. What's so bad about Donald Trump? Well, he cheats at golf. How about that? Get out of that one, I double dare you. I might come to that in a minute. God, it's comical. What a man. And I use the word man in inverted commas. He is just the worst. It's excruciating how bad he is. He's the leader of the free world. If aliens from space came down to this planet and asked to meet our leader, we would have to introduce them to Donald Trump.
Oh, no.
They'd probably take umbrage, think we were joking, and blast off and nuke the entire site from orbit. It's the only way to be sure. Phil emails, the Netherlands just won the Eurovision Song Contest. Did they? The Netherlands. Do they even have music in the Netherlands? Name one band that's come from the Netherlands. I double dare you. There isn't any. I mean, Abbot comes from Sweden, which, last time I looked, was a different country. Does Holland ever had any modern music come out of it at all, ever? There was a mouse where there on the stairs. Apart from that one. Anyway, the Netherlands just won the Eurovision Song Contest. Good, serves them right. Britain came last. Really? We came last. With 16 points. Does anybody care, says Phil. Well, apparently a lot of people care. There's been wall-to-wall over on the stupid BBC. I am stunned that I on many different levels, and it's still a thing apart from anything else, and that a major broadcaster on the world stage still thinks it's worth our money staging the blooming thing. God. Anyway, there's more. He says, the Netherlands just won the Eurovision Song Contest. Britain came last with 16 points. Does anybody care? Well, if we come out of Brexit, those who didn't vote for us, we can charge them with higher tariffs. Says Phil, who's obviously been thinking about this a lot. Yeah, we're taking notes and we're keeping a record. If you did not vote for it, I've got no idea what we even went in with. I bet it was dreadful. Do you know what was it like, our entry in the Eurovision Song Contest?
Pretty bad. I'd never heard of him.
Right. But that you've never heard of him is neither here nor there. Are you saying that the song was bad?
Well, we had Engelbert Humperdinck a few years ago, didn't we? And he was...
We did?
Yeah, I think about 3 years ago.
3 years, not 63 years ago, 3 years ago. Engelbert Humperdinck. Still alive, can you believe that?
No.
0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nicka@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, just stop reading it because it's affecting your mind. And that goes for Facebook too. Hey, look, it's just past 12:30. The news headlines on
Abbott on LBC. Call 0345 6060 973.
So they opened their big mouths and out came talk. Talk.
Let's have a call in Wanstead. Hey up, Sophie.
Hello, Nick. How are you?
I am super. Thanks for asking.
Good. Before I go on to the point I phoned in with,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really perplexed by Ahmed's call. And if it elucidates it a bit more for him, in every single way, on every level, after every single consideration, Donald Trump is offensive to any right-thinking person in this world.
Yeah.
Does that make it clear for him?
That makes it clear for me, if that's any help.
I'm just so perplexed. But I had rung earlier in the week with this point, but this stupid man has really enraged me so much I have to ring again.
Well, maybe he got all his information off the internet.
What do I know about it? All I know is what's on the internet.
No, the other stupid man, the Donald Trump. On the one hand, they have a state passing a law that bans abortion.
Alabama.
Yep, good old Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other hand, Trump is getting ready to nuke and bomb to high heaven and God knows do what else.
Well, it's worse than that. It's way worse than that. Alabama, the leader of Alabama, whatever her name is, what is she, the governor of Alabama or something like that? Kay Ivey, who's really determined to protect life because that's what God wants, is also executing prisoners. So
Exactly.
So you must protect all life apart from after it's born, and then after then, it's all bets are off, and we don't mind killing you. It's just ridiculous what's going on over there.
And also what I call the domestic terrorism, the rifles that are rife in America, and the people who can get hold of them, and the ones who have got hold of them with a legitimate license, and the absolute devastation they're causing. And America has become a parody and a paradox.
Yeah.
It really has.
No, I
I
agree
just
with you.
cannot stand. It is a joke. Is this real life, as you say?
Yeah, exactly. If I was a person who took holidays, I just don't think I'd be comfortable going to America at the moment. It just seems to be a den of crazy. This is the story. Alabama Governor Kay Ivey signed into law an extreme abortion ban, citing Alabamans' deeply held belief that every life is precious and that every life is a sacred gift from God. She also presided over the state-sanctioned killings of 6 people under Alabama's death penalty since she assumed office in 2017. I mean, how hypocritical is that? It's staggering.
It's a paradox.
It was not a paradox.
It's an oxymoron. How many other terms can I apply? I just do not understand.
Yeah, you don't need the oxy to understand this. You just need the moron.
I love the poorly educated.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
That's exactly right, Nick. You just need the moron, and they've got the moron.
Do they ever? They got plenty of them.
I wouldn't be surprised if he started a war before the next election.
To get his ratings up. That's what's going to happen.
I'll bring us into war.
Absolutely. And I just fear for the world. I really do.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Sophie. If you didn't feel bad before, you feel bad now. Brian says, aha, we're from the Netherlands. Well, yeah, I rest my case. Exactly. No music has ever come from the Netherlands that anybody in their right mind would want to hear. Aha included. Take on me. Ugh. Does anybody want to hear that again?
No.
Robert says Pussycat were from the Netherlands. Pussycat. 1976, a one-hit wonder. Pussycat. How does that go? Does it go like this? I sort of have a vague memory. 1976, that really is going back a bit. But, in 1976, I was listening to other things. I certainly wasn't listening to anything called Pussycat. Okay, here's some more information. Pussycat was a Dutch country and pop group. A Dutch country and western group? Is that what you're saying?
Apparently.
Oh, my God. It just gets worse. Country and western.
Boring.
From Holland. You believe that? Led by the 3 Kowalczyk sisters, Tony, Betty, and Marianne. Bunty says Golden Earring came from the Netherlands, and so does Focus. There you are. I take it all back. Focus.
Rock and roll.
One of my favourite albums ever. Focus live at the Rainbow. I think it's one of those albums that's very difficult to find. I can't remember how I managed to wheedle it out on CD. Very difficult to find on CD. I had it on vinyl a long, long time ago. But what a great album that is. Focus. Focus live at the Rainbow. Excellent, excellent album. They came from the Netherlands. Thies van Leer. And other people whose names I can't remember. Focus. How could I forget that? And, of course, Golden Earring. Radar Love. Boom, 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 boom. Peter says Eddie Van Halen was Dutch. Really? No, but Van Halen does sound Dutch, but he doesn't sound Dutch. He sounds American to me, but quite possibly his family was Dutch. So, yeah, I am being totally corrected. People are writing in and correcting me.
Correct.
Van Halen, sort of Dutch-ish. And then it takes a turn downwards. Carlin Dudley says the Venga Boys came from the Netherlands. I think you should have... you had me at Van Halen, Well, actually, you had me at Focus, and then you lost me at Venga Boys. Callers are going nuts. Aha is from Norway, apparently. See? So, like I was saying, all of the acts that anybody has ever heard of that came from the Netherlands are completely fantastic in every respect. We got Van Galen, we got Focus, Thijs van Leer, and Aranda Farlelu. I can't remember what their names are. But anyway, I'll take a break and I'll come back yodeling. Anybody want to hear that?
No.
Jim in Staines. Ugh. He says, the idea behind the sanctions is to make things unbearable for the poorest in Iran. Then hopefully they will rise up and overthrow the government, a bit like the USA did so successfully in Syria. I think the reason for the sanctions seems to be to goad Iran into a war in order to make Donald Trump the President of the United States again, which is probably the only way that he'll get to keep out of jail. I mean, pretty much everybody that has ever been in his orbit is either in jail or on trial. And that Mueller report did not exonerate him. It didn't say that there was no collusion. It didn't say any of the things that Donald Trump is lying that it said. It actually gave a roadmap to prosecution. It's just that while he is the president, it's difficult to do that.
I can be more presidential than anybody.
He's the least presidential president in history. But once he's out, then somebody may be building a wall around him.
I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall. I'm building a wall, okay? I'm building a wall.
He's not building a wall. And even if he did build a wall, it wouldn't work.
If there's a concrete wall in front of you, go through it, go over it, go around it, but get to the other side of that wall.
Yeah, piece of cake. Or you could just drive through one of the gates, like people do at the moment. Andrew tweets, I think your producer is trying to make us feel miserable, allowing more Trump nuts to take over the airwaves. Yeah, can we have a few fewer Trump nuts?
A big sack of monkey nuts.
0345 6060 973. You can text 84850. Email nick@lbc.co.uk. And if you're on Twitter, it's at LBC. I must take this moment to remind you that if you have 30 minutes and you wish to be amused, then can I point you in the direction of my podcast? It's the best of this show and some extra bits in there as well. And you'll find it. It's called the Nick Abbot Habit. Download Global Player, our app from your app store. It's available for Android and Apple. If you go to the podcast section, scroll down to the Global Podcast, and then way over to the right, you'll find my podcast is secreted there right at the end, where it's easy to find. The Nick Abbot Habit. If you don't do phones, then it is also available on the World Wide Web. Ask for it by name, the Nick Abbot Habit.
Coming up at 1 on LBC is LBC with Nick Abbott. Call 0345 6060 973. Tweet at LBC. Text 84850.
I've just remembered another member of the band Foca. I swear I didn't look this up. It's Thijs van Leer and Pierre van der Linden. Oh, I better got that right. What the others' names are, I can't remember off the top of my head. But if you give me a clue, I might come up with them. The stuff that lurks in your mind. I can't remember what I did last weekend. But I can remember that from 1970 whenever. I can remember when they appeared on Old Grey Whistle Test. And I thought, wow, who are these freaks? They're playing flute music and they're yodeling. What's going on here, I thought. Fantastic. Andover. Hello, Spencer.
Hello, Nick. Somebody picked up on Golden Earring with Radar Love. That was a great track.
Radar Love came from the album Moon Tan. I bet that's right too.
Affirmative.
Yeah, I think, were they on the Great Whistle Test as well?
Yes, I'm pretty sure they were, yeah. I've got that single, Radar Love. That's why I know it's from the album Moon Tan, because it says right there on the label, from the album Moon Tan.
Yeah. Is it the 12-inch? Because there was a longer version, wasn't there, which was actually really good.
No, I got the 7-inch.
Oh, you got the 7-inch. I think there was like a bridge bit in the middle where there was just like the thumping of the bass.
Do 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 do.
Yeah, and that's right. And then it built back up again, didn't it?
Brilliant song.
Brilliant song. Yeah.
We should play that right now.
Yeah, have you got it?
No, unfortunately not. We haven't got any music here. What kind of a radio station is this? We haven't even got Radar Love by Golden Earring.
Not even on MP3.
This is just rubbish. Look at our library. We haven't got one.
Oh, dear. But, yeah, the Eurovision Song Contest, it was interesting, to say the least.
I like the look of that band from Iceland. Were they as scary as they appeared?
Yeah, they were a bit sort of, what was it? They were supposed to be anti-capitalist.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that Graham Norton was telling us.
They looked a bit out there, but you know those Icelandics. They're. I've been listening to a lot of Icelandic music lately. Niels Fram, I believe he's Icelandic, and then there's Olafur Arnalds, who is also Icelandic, and some other people whose names I probably couldn't pronounce for fear of dislocating my face.
Yeah, I think they're churning out just very left field stuff, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which actually is probably a breath of fresh air in this.
Well, they're responsible for Bjork, of course.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's still brilliant. I mean, you know, I haven't just to listen to her latest stuff, but
well,
you know, you can always. She keeps you guessing.
Yeah, doesn't she ever? Yeah. You never know what she might come out with next. Like this, for instance. Yeah, that could be a new single. Nobody knows.
Yeah, but no, I'm interested with the Eurovision Song Contest. Apparently, Madonna's performance was bad.
Madonna. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, how much money does Madonna actually need? Well, you could say the same about the Rolling Stones. They just keep going on and on and on. I suppose it becomes like a drug. The applause, the approval of vast numbers of people. There can't be anything like it. Actually, you stand on stage and tens of thousands of people are roaring at you. There can't be anything like that in real life.
Alive. I think it keeps him alive.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Because I mean, he's had that heart bypass, hasn't he? And there was a picture on YouTube, I think, going round of him dancing in a studio after he's had this op.
Yeah, yeah. He still can't dance. After all that practice, he still can't do it.
Well, not how we think he should dance. Yeah.
But the thing is, we're talking about Mick Jagger now. The way he dances really badly is the essence of his whole thing. He's really bad at it, and yet that makes him brilliant.
Is that because Tina Turner taught him how to dance like that?
Yes. Hey, I tell you what, Tina Turner, she's one of those acts that you hear the singles and you think, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, A River Deep Mountain High is proper blow your hair back.
Yeah,
great.
I think that's because Phil Spector produced, didn't he?
Yes,
track,
yeah. But the singles, all those sort of 80s singles, you think, yeah, that's okay. Yeah. But if you really want to know how good Tina Turner is, there's a Herbie Hancock album in celebration of the music of Joni Mitchell, and Tina Turner, I think it's either track 1 or 2. And I heard it several times thinking this is one of the best things I've ever heard in my life before I realised who it was.
Oh, right.
If you really want to know what an incredible talent Tina Turner is, then pick up that. And it's a fantastic album, by the way. It's a Herbie Hancock album in celebration of the music of Joni Mitchell. And Tina Turner is one of the artists on it. It is incredibly good.
Well, that's interesting because, I mean, I could Google it and check on Spotify.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, and just out of curiosity to see, how good this track you say
it is. Fabulous.
Yeah, I'll probably have a Google and see what I can
and you can thank me later. No, wait, I've changed my mind. You can thank me now.
I haven't Googled it yet.
All right, well, I want a full report on my desk first thing in the morning, all right?
All right, I'll try and do it.
Okay, thanks a lot, Spencer. 0345 6060 973. Jim says, Jan Akkerman. Didn't I say Jan Akkerman? I said Thijs van Leer, Pierre van der Linden, and Jan Acker. How could I forget Jan Akkerman? Also Moontan, what a great album. I never actually listened to the album, but I got the single, but I only know it was from Moontan because, like I said, it said that right there on the label. And I can remember that, despite having not looked at that label for decades. Probably since the 1970s. Ain't that weird, the stuff that you can remember and the tiny, totally unimportant minutiae that you can recall, and yet the important stuff I've got no idea. Where did I leave my card this evening? Not a clue. Let's have a call in Seattle. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Nick. Nice to speak to you again. Good evening to you. Your colleague who answers the phone just said, look, should Nick visit the USA again? And my answer is yes. My wife and I have been nodding along to a certain, your views of a certain gentleman in the White House, for the last hour. And so don't get me wrong, we're completely in agreement with you. But yeah, I know you've been to Portland before, but come on.
No, I haven't. I've never been to Portland. I've been to Oregon.
Sorry.
Small town. I spent a month in small town Oregon, a place called. It sounds weird when you say it in an English accent, so I'm going to adopt a cod American accent to say it. It's a place called Grants Pass. Not Grants Pass, but Grants Pass.
Grants Pass.
In Oregon.
I'm sorry, I got it wrong. I thought you'd been to Portland.
No.
But anyway, the thing is this. Look, Nick, it's early Saturday evening, and we're pottering around like any other family with dirty laundry, and we're not one of those wealthy Seattle families. And honestly, we're just doing ordinary stuff like you would in London. Like we're going to go to a cooperative art gallery for like a quick free glass of wine, and then we look at the oven and say we really need to clean that. And honestly, people in Seattle, like dog walkers and people you meet, just like in Notting Hill or somewhere, they're like cringing in shame about that certain gentleman in the White House. It's like, don't even bring up that name. And it's like we're just along with you. And again,
I think the coasts. Maybe if I do go to, I don't take holidays, but if I did, I would go to maybe the coasts. I would avoid the entirety of the middle, with the possible exception of maybe Chicago and that one place in Texas that's not dreadful. What's that called?
Yeah,
Austin, Texas. Yeah. When you said that you were pottering about, I thought.
Want to score some pot?
I thought, yes, okay,
Yeah.
Oregon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're saying.
I mean, in Seattle, it is legal, and I'll tell you what, Nick. And again, just to put some context, it's just like you read about in the Guardian or something. It's like within like 3 minutes, my wife and I could be at like a pot store, and it's just like an off license. You just go in, show your ID. And it's perfectly legal, and you can buy either, I don't partake myself, but you can buy like edible tablets or, your favorite brand, and that's what it's like
the
in
difference
Seattle.
between there and here is almost nothing at all in its availability, but the quality control is, of course, very important, because in this country or anywhere where it is illegal, people who take it don't know what they've taken until they've taken it. There is no quality control. It's like going and buying an unlabeled bottle of alcohol from a man in a car park. You got no idea what's in it. It could be rat poison.
I know, and I won't put her on because she's busy. But my wife is like nodding along because she knows that she does partake, and she can buy quality stuff.
Right. So when you say busy, you mean stoned.
Yeah. Actually, no, she just got out of the bath. But
I see.
For the sake of the show.
So she's feeling a bit puffy at the moment. I get it.
A little bit, yeah. Right. A little bit. Anyway, it was just nice to talk again, and I just want people to know that we just do our usual stuff here in Seattle, and we're sort of ashamed of that man, and we just do our usual things just like you would in New Cross or South.
Just like any other normal person. Okay, I get it. Thanks for the update, Matt. 0345 6060 973. Yeah, the coasts are part of the resistance to the Orange Nightmare, who relies on those of who lack education And those are the people that he is relying on.
I love the poorly educated.
He even tells them to their face, I love the poorly educated, he tells a crowd of poorly educated people, and they whoop and cheer. Woo! It's just, well, sum it up for us, Kanye.
Whoop-dee-dee scoop poop.
Exactly. Gary tweets, apparently there was a 70s Dutch band called Earth and Fire. If only they had wind in their name, think of the success they could have had.
I know a lot about wind. I know a lot about wind.
You know nothing about wind. Every time he says, I know something about, means he knows nothing about. When he says, believe me, don't believe him.
Believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me. Okay?
No. You can pick up my podcast. It's called the Nick Abbot Habit. If you ask for it by name, you'll find it on the internet one way or the other. I'll be back on Friday and Saturday at 10 next weekend. In the meantime, if you download Global Player from Apple or Android app stores, then the stuff that's on there will keep you amused from now until the end of time. It's got all of our stations. It's got loads of podcasts and plenty of other stuff that you can find in there as well. You can listen back to this show and any of the other programs that are on LBC. And I thoroughly recommend it. No phone is complete without Global Player. Coming up, Steve Allen will set you straight at 5, but right now it's Matt Stadlin.
Nick, have you heard the news?
Yes, of course I have.
I have raised myself from my sick bed to be with you this morning.
Oh, you're sick? I feel dreadful about that.
Three times during my show yesterday morning, Nick.
Please, tell us more.
I'll tell you more later, but before I do that, I want to ask you another question.
And moaning.
Yes. What's your query?
Have you heard?
No.
The ball has finally come loose in the back of the Tory leadership scrum, and guess who's going to have a crack at it?
Oh, God, please, let it not be him.
It's him.
No.
The blonde bombshell who represents
Wait.
Uxbridge. Boris Johnson is going to have a go at becoming our next Prime Minister. You may not have a say, but do you want him?
On your